So today I want to show you guys an easy way to clean out the spark arrestor screen on your outdoor power equipment like this Stihl KM110 trimmer here. So the spark arrestor is basically a little screen that's on the outlet of the muffler. It is there for safety reasons, to prevent backfires and sparks from exiting out the muffler, particularly when you're in a dry area with dry grass and stuff. You don't want those sparks flying out and possibly causing a fire. So the screen is there in place so that if sparks or backfires do happen, those sparks would hit the screen and not come out of the muffler. But what happens over time is that the screen starts to collect all the carbon that's going through the muffler there, and it starts to clog up the holes on the screen, and thus starts to basically suffocate the motor the more and more that screen gets clogged up. So today I'm just going to show you an easy way to clean all the carbon off of that screen. And you're going to need some basic tools. You're going to need the tool that comes with your Stihl trimmer or any other trimmer so that you can take the engine cover off. Some machines you may not need to take the engine cover off. The little screw that holds the screen in place may be accessible without taking the engine cover off. On this particular model, it requires the engine cover coming off. You're going to need some pliers to hold onto the screen when you're cleaning it. You may need a small screwdriver to pry out the tab of the or the screen away, loosen it away from the muffler. And then you're going to need some sort of a torch or lighter that produces a blue flame. So not a regular standard lighter that has sort of the orange flame. You want something intense. So it's got to have sort of that intense blue flame, which means that it's really, really hot burning. So you'll need that. So here I've got a small little miniature torch I picked up at a small little tool store. It uses just a butane lighter refill on the inside. You click it on there, and when it starts, you get this little blue flame. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera there. And this particular lighter we have for the barbecue is similar. So when it starts up, if I point it at the camera, you may or may not be able to see the blue flame there. So basically we're going to start by removing the cover off of your trimmer. So on this particular model, I believe there's 3 of these screws. So I'm just going to take them off. So next, I'm just going to pull the spark plug boot off of it so that the cover can go down under there. Start to lift the cover away. You're going to want to fit that boot through the hole so that you can pull the cover completely off. And I'll just set that aside. So you can see the spark plug there, the boot is off of it, and you can see the muffler right here on the side. So the spark arrestor screen is right inside this little housing here, and there's usually a screw right here. If you guys, I don't know if you can see that on the screen there, but there'll be a screw right here, and it's covered in carbon at the moment, but you're going to need to take that screw off. So here's where you can use that little flathead screwdriver. So there's the little screw. And then you can use your screwdriver there just to pry the screen loose. Grab your little needle nose pliers so you can grab the end of the screen now, and you just pull it out. So you can see from this one, I'll use my toolbox there as the background, or maybe I can use this table or bench there so you can see the the wood bench through. So you can see for the most part the inside of the screen where exhaust is coming out is still pretty clean. The outsides, you can see how that's all black. That's still, that's all the carbon that's building up, and it will slowly start to take over this whole screen and make it all clogged up. So what we're going to do is you're going to keep holding the screen with your pliers, because it's going to get really, really hot. And what you're going to do is basically you're going to burn off all of the carbon off the screen. So you want your blue flame, and you're going to just go over, and you're going to start to see that the screen itself starts to glow red, because it is made out of metal, the screen. So what you want to do is you just keep heating it up, and it's a bit time consuming depending on how much carbon you have happening there. And you may have to go over the screen on both sides. So I'm going to try it again now. Try it with the lighter. You can see the little torch started clearing that away. So I'm going to try with the lighter. And like I said, what you want it to do, you want to get that metal screen just glowing, you know, bright orange. And you see the little, I don't know if the camera's picking up, the little sparks that are kind of flying. That's the actual carbon burning off. So that means I'm getting this hot enough to... Now, of course, if you have a propane torch, like a plumber's torch, then this will just go a lot quicker. So what you can sometimes do is, as you're heating up with the lighter and it's glowing red, you can use the actual metal tip of the lighter and just rub the metal screen, and that'll loosen up the chunks as they're glowing red, and just lets them flake off a lot easier. And you're holding it fairly close. You want it in that blue flame. So you can see already how much, let's see if I can get it in the camera there. You can see that top corner here, there's a bit of thick carbon. That's where the pliers were originally holding on to. Around the edges where it was completely solid black carbon, that's all been burned off. And then just the middle there, there's some black light duty, and I'll go over that in a minute. So you just, depending on how much carbon you have on it, will depend on how thick the buildup is and how long this is going to take. If you're doing this, you know, on a regular basis, then it's just literally like 2 minutes to clear the carbon, put it back, and you're good to go. In this case, this one hasn't been done in a long time, so it's taking me, you know, a good 10 minutes or so to get this cleaned up. And you can see as you work your flame, and the screen is really glowing orange, really red hot. There, as you pull away, you'll notice that the black carbon is all vanishing. Well, there you go, guys. So that was honestly probably the most intense screen that I've ever had to clean. It was really, really caked on there, really, really dirty. But the result is fantastic. It's like a brand new screen there. So let me see if I can line it up there with that piece of wood in the background so you can see through the screen, but you can see it's absolutely completely clean. Let me bring it up to the camera so you guys can get a better look at it. And so there you go, guys. So that blue flame, that blue heat just burns off that carbon. You can rub the tip of the lighter there, just kind of scrape it along to loosen up. You can also just blow a little bit on the screen as it's red hot, and it'll loosen up that carbon at the same time. Yeah, otherwise it works fantastic. So now we just let this cool down so that we can handle it and then reinstall it. So to put it back, essentially you're gonna put it in the same way. On this particular one, there's a little divot in the screen where the screw would sit into. So you want to make sure that that's in the proper spot. You see that little divot sits in the screw hole. You're going to take your screw, put that back in place. Screw it down. I'm going to bring this up to the camera, see if you guys can see that. So you can see the screen right inside there. So from there, it's just a matter of putting the cover back on. You want to make sure you feed your spark plug wire through. Make sure the cover sits exactly where it's supposed to. You're going to pop your spark plug through there. And put your spark plug wire back in. And there you have it, guys. That's how to clean the spark plug arrestor screen on your handheld equipment. Now, alternatively, you can also get yourself a small wire brush, and that will help before you use the lighter. If you've got a lot of carbon like I did there, you know, to speed up the process, you could try loosening some of that carbon there, and it'll get off the outside, like the flakier stuff on the outside, but the carbon that's inside the actual screen will still need to be burned off after that. But that might help aid yours if it's really, really caked on there. If it's just a little bit of carbon on there, I've found in the past that just using the lighter, like I said, you know, 2-3 minutes, just going over it, making sure that it glows like cherry red there, you'll see that it all is completely clear, and you have a completely clean silver looking screen once you're done, and that will completely you know, mitigate any issues with the engine being sort of suffocated, so that'll let all the airflow go through. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a hit that like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel for more of your tips like this. If you guys have any tips to share, leave them in the comments below. Let me know if you clean your spark arrestor any other way. If is there an easier way to go about this? This is the way that I've always done it, but maybe you guys have some better ideas. So leave those in the comments below, and that's it for this video. So here's to wishing you guys all overwhelming success and freedom in your lawn care business. Bye for now.